This I wanna nail sports to the bone. Top blogger, top YouTube channel. No matter which sports, here we got it covered. Subscribe and hit the notification bell.
What's up, my wonderful peeps? Sports to the bone here again, man. Shout out to all the viewers, the subscribers, and the followers. Big up on yourself. So yesterday we had semifinals number 1 in the regional Super 50 tournament that is going on. We had Jamaica Scorpions going up against the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, and it was expected to be a good game as Trinidad and Tobago went in unbeaten while the Scorpions were coming into good form. Now, the addition of John Campbell and Nkuma Bonner to the Scorpions batting lineup meant, the unit would have felt more comfortable and more confident going up against the Red Force. Viewers and subscribers, I am aware that the TNT team is extremely strong. So, I figured that batting first, Jamaica would have to set over 300 to really challenge the Red Force batting lineup. Because if you look at that batting lineup, we have some talented youngsters there playing for Trinidad. We're talking about Evan Lewis, Nicholas Puran. We're talking about Darren Bravo, Jason Mohammed, Pollard. We're talking about some players, Lendell Simmons. These are all players that would have had good amount of international experience for West Indies. So going up against them, man, you probably have to set over 300. Anyways, batting first, the Scorpions didn't actually get off to a positive start at all, as Alden Thomas and Campbell weren't able to put together a fruitful partnership. So as you can imagine, John Campbell came in back into the side and opened the innings with Alden Thomas. But they weren't able to put together anything fruitful. Now, coming back into the side, Campbell had a life pretty early as he was dropped in the slip by Pollard. This is not something that we see very often. I think Phillips was bowling and, he hit Campbell's edge, but Pollard wasn't able to grab the catch in the slip region, and that actually meant that Campbell was given a lifeline, and he actually made use of it because he went on to score some runs, which we're gonna go down into further in the video. Now, standing at the non-striker's end and witnessing Pollard putting down a simple catch off Campbell, probably Alden Thomas was thinking that, boy, yesterday would have been their lucky day up against Trinidad. The mere fact that Pollard dropped a catch, that is something that doesn't happen very, very often. So probably Thomas was thinking that, yeah, man, we're going to get some luck tonight. Well, that didn't happen any at all, because shortly after that, Thomas was on strike and he was removed after just scoring 1 run. No, the dismissal of Thomas meant that the Scorpions were actually wheeling at 5 for 1. Things, however, started to look up as Brandon King came in. And King and Campbell, they were both able to repair the innings. Talking about stroking the ball so sweetly, timing the ball effortlessly, getting some fours and stuff like that, to sort of push back the pressure on the Red Force. So moving from 5 for 1, all the way up to 113 before the Scorpions actually lost Brandon King. McCarthy, he was the next man in. Now, the Scorpions sort of got themselves back into a good position. But my viewers and subscribers, the collapse eventually came. So after Brandon King and Campbell were both able to sort of repair the innings, sort of put up a good total before losing the second wicket. Once King was removed and McCarthy came in and played a couple of strokes, the collapse came shortly after that. While we were losing wickets here and there, John Campbell was actually still at the crease, trying to stabilize things, as I said earlier, and he eventually brought up his half century. He was able to accumulate his runs over a period of time, not really playing any loose shots or any rash shots, just stroking the ball nicely, timing the ball. He actually played some elegant cover drives. That fluent left-hander shot that they drive the ball through the covers. Yeah, man. Fluently that looks when the left-handers are driving the ball. So Campbell was there batting, and he was able to compose himself. And it's actually good to see that he he was able to come straight back in the team and was able to contribute because he actually toured with the West Indies over there in England, in New Zealand, and in Bangladesh, I think it was. And he wasn't able to really make a contribute with the bat. So to see him returning to regional cricket and just stepping right into it is actually a good sight. Albeit he gave up an opportunity in the early part of his innings, but was put down by Pollard, But at the end of the day, when you are playing cricket, those things happen, and the mere fact that he capitalized on it, is something that we really need to commend him for. So Campbell brought up his half century while we were actually losing wicket and thing. Now, generally speaking, where the batting is concerned, for the Scorpions, as you can imagine, Campbell got over his half century and eventually made 88. But separate and apart from Campbell, only Brandon King that chipped in with 58. Actually, really nice to see King getting some runs. A very talented player, very somebody that is able to stroke the ball very nicely. It sort of reminds me of Sarwan. He's always on the front foot and strokes the ball pretty smoothly, similarly to how Sarwan used to back in his days. But apart from Campbell with 88, King with 58, only McCarthy that got 35 and Banner, who got a start but was unable to capitalize, really made anything of note. People like Ravman, Powell, Aldin, Thomas, all these guys, and they weren't able to kick on and get anything of note. So after being at 113 for 2, you would imagine that the guys would go on to score close to 300, seeing that they were coming up against such a powerful TNT batting lineup. But, they eventually collapsed and, they only got 255 for 7 with Campbell standing tall with that 88. So my viewers and subscribers, from the get-go, from the end of our batting innings there, I wasn't feeling confident at all based on that powerful lineup. I was thinking that nothing under 300 would be able to win this game against the Red Force. As regards to the bowling, before we even go into the bowling, so just gonna take a quick look at how we lost our wicket. We're talking about 5 for 1, 113 for 2, 171 for 3, 194 for 4, 203 for 5, 226 for 6, and it went on like that. So we thought we would have been able to get some more runs, but it just didn't happen at all, my viewers and subscribers. Let me just quickly run through how the bowling went for the TNT Red Force. Now, we had Ravi Rampal taking 4 for 29 off his 10 overs. And it's actually brilliant to see Ravi Rampal getting some wickets. Over the years, he would have struggled with injuries and remaining fit and all of that at the highest level, because you remember at one point in time we had Ravi Rampal and Jerome Taylor opening the bowling for West Indies for a good period of time. Ravi Rampal, he bowled with good pace, he had good line and length. In the earlier part of his career, he struggled with bowling no balls and things like that, but he was actually able to correct that. But he actually struggled with his fitness, was unable to keep off the excess weight and things like that. So that not really go real good with the fast bowlers. So that caused some issues there for Ravi Rampal. And similarly to how our young bowler O'Shane Thomas is putting on a lot of weight, that is something that really affected Ravi Rampal. And to see him bowling in this regional competition and picking up 4 for 29, it's actually good. He isn't the quickest bowler still in the world, but he bowled some good line and length, was able to get the ball to move around a little bit and sort of put the Scorpions in some trouble. Now, Anderson Phillip also chipped in with some wickets, picking up 2 for 41 off his 10 overs. Probably would have been 3 if Pollard didn't put down that early catch off Campbell. So, yeah, man, Anderson Phillips really chipped in well, bowled with reasonably good pace and troubled the Scorpions batsmen also. So those were the 2 pick of the bowlers, Rampal with 4 for 29 and Phillip who got 2 for 41. Now, chasing down the total, the Red Force batsmen, they were in a hurry as they manhandled the bowlers. We're talking about slapping some balls to the boundaries. Derval Green especially came in for some rude treatment by Lendl Simmons. Now, the right-left combination of Evan Lewis and Lendl Simmons seems as if it gave the Scorpions bowlers some problem because they often missed their line when bowling earlier there in the innings, and they were made to pay because especially Simmons, he treated the bowlers really roughly. Now, both Simmons and Lewis, they were able to push the score to 63 before losing Lewis for 24. Lendl Simmons, he continued to dominate the bowlers as he kicked on and was able to score pretty quickly. The removal of Evan Lewis meant Darren Bravo came to the crease and he played some fluent shots but was unable to capitalize on his start that he got and was removed after scoring 19. So, Jason Mohammed usually comes in at number 3, but I guess the TNT were thinking that they would want to score very quickly, so they sent in Darren Bravo. Didn't really work. He was removed pretty early. Now, after the removal of Bravo, in came the dependable man, Mr. Jason Mohammed. And, at this point, things were out of the Scorpions' hand because Simmons, as you can imagine, brought up his half century by now. But, he was actually removed shortly after. But he would have done a great deal of damage by that. So that meant that Jason Mohammed was soon joined by Nicholas Pooran, who came in and he wasn't in the mood to mess around at all because he basically clobbered the bowlers and he rushed to 54 40 balls to wheel in the little score that the Scorpions made. Now, after Pooran was removed, for his 54, in came the captain, Mr. Pollard, who is actually short on runs. He wouldn't have scored much runs so far in the competition, and he basically just came in and dominated the bowling quickly. He rushed to 36 of 18 balls, and that was enough to bring TNT over the line. And as you can imagine, Jason Mohammed, who was there, he actually made some runs. I think he got into the 40s, but when Pollard came in and knocked that 36 of 18 balls, they actually wheeled in the score pretty quickly. So TNT knocked off that 255 within 42.1 overs to basically seal a spot in the final. Was able to grab 2 for 54. You can imagine that based on how dominant the Red Force were, then we wouldn't have had any bowler that, would have picked up a lot of wickets. But that is it for as regards to the Scorpions in this competition this year. I guess they will have to try again next year. But the strong and dominant TNT Red Force, they push on into the finals without losing a game. So once again, good effort from the Jamaica Scorpions. We didn't start off very well in the competition, but the last 2 games before the semi-finals, we didn't do so bad at all. But, we just came up on an immovable force that in the Red Force. No pun intended, but that's basically how it went, my viewers and subscribers. And as per usual, I know you guys will have your opinion, so just go ahead and post it in the comment section and let me know what you think about this game. Sports to the bone, keeping you informed. Please remember to like, share, leave us a comment. If you have not yet subscribed, remember to subscribe to the channel. I'm out.